Well, Shell Point, we have something really different and interesting for you today. There is a new establishment that has only been here for a few months, started in February, and it's right up here, up McGregor, and it's a place called the Everglades Fine Books. And the proprietor of this establishment is Mr. Brady Vogt here. Brady,
Dan,
so glad to
thank you for being here.
be here today. Thanks for having us.
Wow.
Brady, you see his uniform here from the Edison Forest Estates is the horticulturalist. Did I say that right?
Yes, sir. Perfectly.
Of the property. But his passion for many, many years has been collecting books. And at this point in his life, he's come to a place of wanting to share this collection with anyone else who might share the passion. And here we find ourselves at the Everglades Fine Books. So, Brady, if you would show us around what you've put together here, we really want to see it.
What we've got in this little shop here is about 6,000 titles, split up. You have to decide at some point what you want to major in. And I decided some years ago that I wanted to concentrate on gathering Florida books. So I have about 2,600 Florida pieces, more nonfiction than fiction. This is the Seminole Indian Wars, Florida in the Civil War, Florida fishing, the Seminole Indians, and the Calusa and the Mound Builders, and then assorted repros of reproductions and repeats stuck in there. I actually have a pretty good little collection of Thomas Edison titles, which is fitting because I admire Mr. Edison, and there's been many, many hundreds of books written about him. So we concentrate on Florida, and then we come into this room, and everything in here is Florida. What we've got here, this is all places of Florida: Miami, Jacksonville, St. Augustine. These are unusual, the women of Florida. Various sets of different stuff, some genealogy. This down here is Florida fiction, and everything on this wall is Florida fiction. So
you have one of my favorite Florida authors here is Mr. Dave Barry.
Yeah, oh, you like Dave Barry?
I love Dave Barry.
Yeah, he's a riot.
He's hilarious.
You know, that's the interesting thing about writing is that if you can make somebody laugh out loud while they're reading your stuff, you're pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, anybody can
He's done that to me many times.
Yep, Dave Barry. Right there where you were standing, that whole shelf on top, that's about the Spanish explorers. You know, literature in Florida began with the Spanish. They all had Jesuits or Franciscans with them that were writing down what the king was spending his money on. You know, and it was sent back to Spain, and that's how it was. The mission was judged a success or failure. But if you think about it, it's always been promotional.
Sure.
Going back to that, come to Florida.
Yeah.
You know, untold riches.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
And I see, Brady, you have a room dedicated to nautical works. This is most interesting. And I noticed, as a kind of an entree to this room, we have something that is a Shell Point touchstone here. Some of you might recognize this model of the Blue Nose schooner. It was created by our own Roger Olson. And he sold it at one of the recent craft shows. And this is where it's ended up. Fitting place for it to be sailing across that beautiful,
it's beautiful
wave that he created out of that piece of wood.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It ties in. That's why we got it. We were in the throes of opening, and Mrs. Bowman thought that she liked it. She surprised me with it, and thought that it was a terrific, as the word you used, entree or entry into the nautical room. So when we go in there, there's about 1,200 books in this room about ships.
Okay.
Well, I like adventure, and this is certainly an adventurous room. About 1,200 titles about whaling, sailing, slave ships, Mutiny on the Bounty, Captain Cook's explorations. All of this material here is all published in England and Scotland, where in addition to being big on book collecting, they're big on model ship building.
Very good. Roger Olson, you might want to check these out.
I've had people ask me many times over the years, what's the best thing you ever read? And it's this. And this is called Voyage, and it's by Sterling Hayden. And you have to be my age or older to remember that he was a Hollywood actor. Sometimes what they would call a B actor, never made it to the top. He was kind of a cantankerous guy. But for him to sit down and write this 600-page novel about a 5-masted, steel-hulled, coal-burning ship that goes around the Cape of Good Hope in the middle of the winter was nothing short of phenomenal. But that's the best book I think I ever read.
So what we really have here, folks, is part bookstore, part museum, and it really is a fascinating space. As you've seen today, Brady is a fascinating fellow, certainly a fount of knowledge about books, especially books about Florida, especially books about nautical history and the things that are here in the shop. This is a place you could get lost in for a long time if you love books, folks. So tell us, Brady, what are the hours? When can folks come over here?
Well, we're open Tuesdays, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from 10 to 5. We're at 15065 McGregor Boulevard, directly across the street from Gulf Harbor.
Right across from Gulf Harbor, so it's just right around the corner from Shell Point.
Absolutely.
Very convenient.
We've tried to make it as pleasant a place for people to come to as could be. They don't have to buy anything, just come in and poke around, and everybody's got a book story, they want to tell. Yeah.
And what a magical place. I know a lot of you are going to want to come and see this place, meet Brady, see the books that are here, and experience the wonderful Everglades fine books.